I started my first book from my October TBR. For this reading vlog, I started The Day of the Triffids by John Wyndham. I love this cover so much. There are a lot of cool covers of this modern classic. I'm listening to this because I found an audiobook on YouTube that I listened to years ago. 2 years ago. I made it sound like it was like 10 years ago. And I really like the narrator for this book. I listened to this when I was still working at South Middle School. So this has like a really special place in my heart because I can picture myself working on dance decorations for homecoming, I think. Homecoming or Valentine's dance, and I was listening to this book. I can picture it so clearly, like working my butt off to make these decorations and listening to this book, and it being such a good, like, not distraction, but like good entertainment while I was working long hours on making these decorations. I've only made it to chapter 2. I'm about to start chapter 3. It's been a very kind of crazy day, so I have not been able to listen to this as much as I've wanted to because I'm really trying to pay attention. So I'm trying to like focus on the audiobook. But our character Mason has woken up in his hospital bed and he's bandaged up. He can't see. Something happened to him that he has bandages over his eyes. And he's realizing that no one has come to check up on him, and they're like an hour late or something like that. He knows that they check up on him, I might get the times wrong, but at 7, and he's like, it's 8, and he can like, because he can hear the clock. And he knows that that's like really weird for a hospital to be like late to take care of a patient, so he's wondering what's going on. Bill Mason, I'm sorry, I guess it's Bill Mason. He decides that no one is coming and he's going to take off his bandages and try to figure out what's going on in the hospital. So he takes off his bandages really carefully. He doesn't even know if he's gonna be able to see, but he can. And he opens the door to his room and finds a doctor there that is telling him, that is like, that's surprised that he can see and is asking him to help him. And Bill Mason, is walking around the hospital realizing that there are a bunch of people that can't see, and he doesn't understand why. And some of these people don't even know that they can't see it because they just think that the hospital, like the lights are out. A lot of people are confused or obviously very upset, but he seems to be the only one that can see right now. I guess I don't want to talk about the whole book, but because I do know what happens, but I picture very much The Walking Dead when Rick wakes up in the hospital and he, you know, realizes that the world has kind of ended. That is what Bill is going through right now. And in the book right now, we're learning about the triffids, the plants, where they came from. That part I did not remember, so I'm really trying to like pay attention to the part of like learning where the triffids originated from, the plants that are really dangerous. I'm gonna put New Moon on the back burner for right now because I want to listen to this. This is not nearly as important to me right now. I would like to finish this by tomorrow, but I guess we'll see if my day just continues to kind of be a little bit crazy. This book is only 233 pages. It's a really short book. And I'm just very much looking forward to diving back into this book and listening to all of it because I loved listening to it the first time, and it's like bringing back pleasant memories reading this book. My printer ran out of ink and I refill my own ink cartridges, which is not easy. And I cannot believe it, but it worked on the first try. Normally, it takes a while for the ink cartridges to work, like for me to get the amount of ink in each cartridge done correctly, and I cannot believe that it printed and it's perfect. I'm really surprised. So that was a part of my day being kind of like know when I run out of ink because I know it's a process and I can mess it up. Last time that I needed to refill my cartridges, I like overfilled some of the cartridges and it was just a mess. Like, I think it was red. Everything was so saturated with red because it was like overfilled. So that's good that my printer is working because it's not as easy as just buying new cartridges and like putting them in, because those cartridges for this old printer that I really like, I like this old printer, they're like $120 brand new. And ink goes fast. Ink is like a very weird ripoff. It's so expensive and you go through ink. I go through ink super fast because I love printing things. All right, I have some work to do. I have all these cool stickers to print out and a book that I might actually return to. I'm kind of curious to finish that book. I want coffee so bad, but Tyler just went to go get the groceries and he's gonna bring back a good coffee, so I'm waiting for that coffee because I haven't had it in so long and I'm looking forward to it. All right, I'm going to enjoy cutting out these stickers and listening to my book.
A large field a mile or two from the plantation. He used to be there himself on a certain night. He would hear an aeroplane flying directly above. He would switch on the lights. The plane would land.
I have a reading update. I am on page 36 of Wuthering Heights. I have no idea what's going on in this book. I need someone to explain it to me. I'm immersion reading this. I don't know how I am so confused by this book. The Victorian language makes it difficult to understand, and then the multiple narratives. I don't know whose perspective I'm reading from, and I'm wondering if it's because she's like switching characters without us knowing. I think that must be what's happening, because I feel like I don't understand whose mind we're in. I feel like I'm gonna have to like look up everything I read to understand it, or like reread these pages. I kept reading and reading, hoping it was gonna like clear up and maybe like stay in one person's mind for a while. It's like, okay, maybe the beginning is just confusing, like setting up the story, and then it's gonna settle down, but I still don't know what's going on. So I'm going to persevere and hope that I understand. But that's my update for this book. I finished The Day of the Triffids. It's such a good book, and it's just as good as when I read it a few years ago. I could see myself rereading this book throughout the years. I have an emotional attachment to this book, I think because when I read it and the memories tied to it, but it's also just a really good story. At the end of the book, one of the characters said something that really resonates with me now, like being a mom, and I was like, oh, I understand. And I almost forgot like part of the ending. As the book was wrapping up, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that this happens. And it's a really good ending. And as it goes with post-apocalyptic movies or books, at the beginning of the event that happens, like zombies, like a disease breaking out, you're first dealing with the zombies and like with the situation, with the disease or with the problem, and then it kind of shifts to like I'm just gonna say zombies. There are no zombies in this book, but like the zombies become kind of manageable, and then you have to deal with people. How people start to divide themselves up, how wars start, and it's like The Walking Dead. Like the zombies in The Walking Dead, the walkers kind of are like on the back burner. Like they're a nuisance and they're there and you have to like take care of them, but now you have all of these problems with different people and like how awful people can be. And that's, you know, kind of like this book too. You start off with like this catastrophe and then dealing with people after that, but still the issue is still there. But I just find that interesting, like how different people react to the situation, how like some people just become really bad people when things like this happen. So my plan is to continue Wuthering Heights today. It's just funny because like it was only 36 pages and I was, since I did not understand it at all, it felt like 100 pages because this isn't, I mean, it's 360 pages. It doesn't seem like very long, but I was thinking as I was reading and not understanding, I was like, oh, this might just be like a really long book if it's gonna continue like this. And then I'm gonna see what other book I'm gonna pick up. I started again The Long Walk by Stephen King. I got over halfway last year with that book and stopped caring. And then they're coming out with a movie or a show. I think it's a movie. So I was like, oh, I've read most of that book. I should just finish it. So I started it again. I started halfway, even though I know I'm past halfway, but I was like, I feel like that's a good marker. I remember what happens and I just don't care again. I can't get back into it. So I guess that soft DNF is gonna become a permanent DNF. Stephen King and I just do not mesh, his writing, but I keep trying with his books. And The Long Walk is not a very long book, but I just don't like his writing. So I tried again, and I'm not gonna continue with it. But let's see which book I pick up next. I feel kind of slumped right now. I better go.
Okay, I did switch them. Finally, I switched this desk with the console table. I like how the wood looks here, the like contrast here. And I like the contrast of my reading chair with the black. Like I think this looks better than the wood being there. I know it's kind of hard to see because the window's opened, but I do like this here. Decorating bookshelves and like console tables is really hard, but or at least for me. I love this garland I have on there. And then I put my October TBR right here. I know it's not ideal with the window behind, but like, at least for the camera, you can't super see. But what I would like is just to get some like, I don't know, super cheap bookends. Like I don't want something bulky, I just want something to just hold them. Right now I have this skull, but what I would like is to have books all along this shelf. That's what I would like. And I would just have to decide what books would go there. And then down here, I don't know what to put here either. Just working on it, but I do like that my books can be on display here and not be taking up this space, which is where Batsy likes to lay down, or like where I would put my coffee mug or something. Like I don't like having books on the top of something, on the top of this or that desk. It didn't work well, so I like having them here, but I do want them to look better. I have my cup of coffee, my first of the day because I'm being so good. And I'm like ready to read a book. And this is the book I've chosen, but I don't want to read it. So that's been the issues that I've been like avoiding reading today because I know that this is what I'm going to read. And I'm only 36 pages in.
I'm now on page 203. I'm no longer confused in the book. The beginning of the book was confusing because of who we were following. Like the story, the love story hadn't started yet, and I had a hard time following like what was going on. But now we're like in the story, the like love story. This is a weird book because we don't like anyone. Like these are such unlikable characters. I'm having a hard time understanding why people like this book, honestly. My plan is to read 60 more pages today so that tomorrow I only have to read 100 and then I can be done. And I don't know. I'm hoping the book gets better. Something just happened in the book, like a really big thing, and I don't know where we're gonna go from here. I decided that I'm gonna break up October into themes for each week, and this week I've already finished one classic. I'm reading another classic. So this week I'm gonna read classics. Classics that are like perfect for this season. And then next week I'll do another like theme of books instead of kind of just picking random books, because I like the structure of like, I'm gonna read these 3 this week. And I already read a classic, so I was like, oh, this is perfect. I could just read classics this week. And that way my videos kind of have a theme, and that made me really excited. It's so nice and like rainy outside today. Like it's such a nice autumnal day. 60 more pages, then only 100 tomorrow, so that I can move on to a book I really think I'm gonna like. I mean, I thought I was really gonna like this, but I mean, we still have some book left. Maybe something exciting will happen. I finally finished Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. This is a story, a love story between Heathcliff and Catherine. Heathcliff, as a boy, was adopted into Catherine's family by Earnshaw, and he and Catherine had this very strong bond. But Catherine doesn't want to marry Heathcliff, even though she like loves him. She chooses to marry Edgar Linton because of his social status. And Heathcliff overhears this and is really mad and like leaves for years. He comes back into her life years later. It causes problems between them and their children, and it's just a bunch of family drama. So many of these characters are so unlikable. Like so many of these characters are so awful. I did not like this book. I thought it was so boring. I'm like glad I read it because I've like heard of Wuthering Heights for so long. I know that this is a very popular classic, but it was so boring, I thought, and I didn't like any characters. I mean, I guess Nellie Dean, she's the maid? I think she's a maid. She's the one that's like, I'm pretty sure she's a maid. I think that's her like job, but she's the one telling the whole story to someone else. Like the whole love story, she's telling it to someone. So she's fine, but I just didn't like it. And I mean, I'm glad I read it. Now I know what it's about. I don't have to wonder anymore. But yeah, sorry to anyone who like loves this book. But I do really love the cover of this. And I have to say, this book was a really good reading experience just with like the book itself. Like once I broke the spine, it had phenomenal flop. And I like the cream of the pages and the font. Like everything about the book I liked, just not the content of the book. But man, I would love more books in this edition. And even like the papery feel of the book. Like I know these are not the most sturdy books because this is just paper. It doesn't have a sheen to it, nothing to like protect it, but I really like the feel of it. I wish I liked the book. I wanted to buy Jane Eyre, which is written by the sister of Emily Bronte. And now I'm thinking like, will I like it? Has anyone read both? Are they similar? Because if Jane Eyre is like this, I'm not gonna like it. And now I like not sure if I want to read that one or not. I don't know if they're similar writers. I think just because they're like sisters, I'm thinking the books are gonna be the same. But now I am like not excited to read Jane Eyre if she wrote like her sister. After finishing the book, I saw the commercial for the movie coming out. There's a lot of romantic scenes, it seems like, that are gonna be in that movie that are not in the book. Like, when I was watching the commercial, I was like, oh my goodness. This looks, seems very interesting. But yeah, that's it's not in the book. Now I get to read a book that I'm really, really, really hoping I love, and that is The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. I love the blue spine. I love when like a shelf has a bunch of classics, modern classics that have the blue spine. I hope I like this. This is a shorter book than Wuthering Heights. This is 245 pages. I don't like the font as much. I don't know if you can see. It's more like typewriter-y font than this one. Yeah, I prefer the font in these classics than these classics, but I love the blue. So I'm going to read this next, and I'll update you guys on what I think. I'm really hoping that this is a good haunted house, very atmospheric feel to it, and that we like our characters. I know everyone like loves this book, so I really hope I love it because I want to watch the movie or the adaptation after reading this. And I have not liked a modern classic in these editions that I've purchased so far. This is my third that I've read, and I haven't liked the first two very much. I didn't really like We've Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson, which is an unpopular opinion, but I didn't really like it, so I'm hoping this one's better. Yeah, I'm going to drink my decaf coffee because I already had my caffeinated coffee today, and I'm going to start reading this. I'm on page 84 and I'm intrigued, so I'm really happy about that. In this book we have Mr. Montague, who's interested in Hill House and has sorry if you hear he's playing video games. He invited people to join him in the house to see what's up with it, I guess. Two women have joined him to go to this house, and Luke, who is the heir to the house, like he's gonna inherit it at some point. One of the women has had experience with poltergeists, and the other one has some telepathic abilities. Yeah, so that's why he invited them to the house, and they've been exploring the house a little bit, and he is right now telling them the history of the house, how like bad things have happened to people who have lived here, like they keep like dying off. And the like keeper of the house, there's a husband and wife that like maintain the house. The woman keeps telling them like, I do not stay here after dark, like if you are yelling for help, no one's going to hear you. Like she keeps reminding them like when it's dark, I'm out of here. Nothing has happened in the house yet. I think something's gonna happen like this night. Like he just told them the history of the house, and now they're just kind of gonna like play a game or something to kind of pass the time, and then I'm wondering if like tonight something's going to happen. But I'm interested and I'm really glad. I think I'm gonna read this really fast. I mean, I'm already at page 85, so I plan to get halfway today and then finish this tomorrow. That's the plan. But that's my update. Okay, last reading update for this video. Let's talk about Shirley Jackson's The Haunting of Hill House. I didn't like this as much as I thought I was going to. I just felt like nothing really happened. I understand the meaning behind this book. I think I do. This book is more about being haunted by your wishes, your dreams, your past, your regrets, more than like the actual things haunting this house, because we're following Elaine or Elena? Eleanor, sorry, who's very excited to go to this haunted house with Mr. Montague, Luke, and Theodora and see what's going on in this house. And throughout the book, she's like really insecure about like, do they actually like me? Am I being awkward? And she's also coming from an environment where she's kind of treated like a child. She's not really respected. She lives with her like sister and her brother-in-law, and you can tell that they don't really respect her. So she has a lot of insecurities, and it kind of drives her to this very dark point in her life while she's at the haunted house. So this is more about her and her like mental state, I feel. There were some spooky things that happened, but not very many, because I understand that that wasn't like the point of this. Like there were some things that were creepy, but I just wanted more. I think I wanted it to be more of like haunted house and paranormal stuff than like this being about Eleonora, and I get it. It just wasn't as fun as I thought it was going to be. I think I was kind of more expecting like a Darcy Coates, like just haunted house, things happening in the house, than the like deeper meanings in the book. I gave it 3 stars. I don't know if that's a little too high. I liked the first half because I felt like it was building up to like what's gonna happen in this house, and I liked learning about the house. And then it just kind of got boring for me, the second half. But I do want to see the movie adaptation of this, and I feel like I probably like that more. And I think just sometimes with classics, just how they're written, or you know, can be a little bit difficult to understand, or sometimes things just go over my head. So maybe someone else reading this gets way more out of it than I did. I think it was just not as spooky as I wanted it to be, but it wasn't bad. I like this more than We've Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. I just don't know that she's for me, you know what I mean? So these are the 3 classics I read in this vlog. One that I love and will continue to read throughout the years. One I was very curious about and thought I was gonna love and disliked a lot. And then, you know, it's okay. Like, I don't regret reading these 2. Now I know what I'm like, I don't know, what I felt I was missing out on, but they just weren't for me. This one I definitely recommend. This one's really good. I hope you enjoyed this reading vlog. I'm going to start a new reading vlog like right now with a different theme. If you don't know what else to comment, you can comment the little ghost emoji for The Haunting of Hill House. And if you enjoy my content, you can check out my other channels. I'll have them linked below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.